lost 2 games during the regular season. The Sox and Angels are playing in October, and they meet up in the postseason once again. Tag of the Boston Red Sox rolling into the postseason with 96 wins. No one in Major League Baseball had more wins during the regular season. Sox are back at Fenway Park, where they'll be hosting a postseason Game 1 for just the second time since 1991. You're looking live at Fenway Park, where in just about an hour, the postseason will begin for Red Sox Nation. It's Game 1 of the American League Division Series between the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim against the Red Sox of Boston. We're here with pregame coverage. Glad you could join us tonight. Welcome out to our SNHD stage on Yawkey Way as we get this one going. Jim Rice with us. Jerry Remy had no place else to go in the postseason. So thanks for dropping by, Jerry. It does feel special. Something about a Game 1. Once the series gets going, you know, people follow what happens, but this hour or so before Game 1, fans are real excited about this.
Well, that's the unknown, Tom. You know, I mean, you go through all season long, you play great baseball, you get to first place, but this is a whole new season and everybody starts equal. You got 4 very good teams in the American League playoff. And the players are nervous tonight, probably like they haven't been since opening day. I mean, this is every game now, every win, every loss is so very important. They know that, and it's just not a regular game against Tampa Bay. This is the big time.
Jim, take us down into the clubhouse. Obviously, players always talk about trying to get that first inning under their belt just to relax and start playing baseball. But are there jitters going into that first game of a playoff series?
Yes, I think it is. I think after you make the first play, the first at bat, or you make a play, then it all settles down. But still, when you come up in a situation where you got a chance to drive and a run, that's another sensation that you have there. And once you get that out, you're just like a regular baseball game.
Well, players are trying to do the things that got them to the postseason. We'll be doing what we've done all season long. After the game, we'll have complete post-game coverage right here on NESN. We don't have the game, but we've got the pre-game and post-game coverage for you every time the Red Sox take the field during this Soxtober. As the Sox are back in the postseason for the first time in 2 years. They've got a 20-game winner for the first time in 2 years as well. In fact, Josh Beckett, the only 20-game winner in baseball, and he is the top of the rotation starter, making the start in Game 1 of the postseason. As Josh Beckett with a 4-1 record, an ERA just over 3 for the month of September in 5 starts for the Red Sox. Josh Beckett will go up against John Lackey. And you can see the numbers of the two teams in 10 games against one another. Red Sox winning the regular season series 6-4, outscoring the Angels 64-42. A good ERA, but the Red Sox know the Angels play a style of baseball that can add pressure here in October.
I think every situation's a little bit different. We know what their style. I think by being aware of it and somewhat respecting it, you know, not fearing it, but being ready for it will help us be ready to handle it.
All right, here are the lineups for Game 1. The Red Sox going with the lineup you'd expect with everyone healthy. Pedroia, Euclid, Ortiz, Ramirez, Lowell, Drew, Veritek, Crispin, Lugo. The Angels, maybe a couple of surprises. Sean Figgins, Orlando Cabrera, Vladimir Guerrero, Garrett Anderson. Mazer Isturis is the third baseman. Casey Kochman at first. Howie Kendrick, Mike Napoli, and Reggie Willits. No Gary Matthews Jr. He's not on the roster. As he battles a knee injury, he will not be playing in this series. The Red Sox, meantime, as healthy and as ready to go as they've been in a while. You can see it from the lineup. And you can hear it from Tina Servasio. She joins us from on the field. Good evening, Tina.
Good evening, Tom. Now, we've seen a mix of lineups for the Red Sox over the last couple of weeks of this season. A combination of injuries, slumps, and just resting guys for the postseason. The last time we saw David Ortiz hit third, Manny Ramirez back cleanup, and J.D. Drew hit in the 5-hole was August 28th at the Yankees. And that was the last time because Mike Lowell is kicking off the 2007 postseason, hitting 5th in the order. Now, this is something that Lowell campaigned for quite a bit this season, especially after the All-Star break. He went to manager Terry Francona and hitting coach Dave Maggott, and he just felt with his production, his consistent swing this season, he could produce for the Sox by hitting 5th, and he was. He was an RBI machine this year. We saw the 120 RBI that Lowell hit in, but in the 17 games that Lowell was batting 5th in the order, he batted .448 with 4 home runs and 19 RBI. With those numbers, you could probably expect to see Mike Lowell hitting 5th throughout the postseason, Tom.
All right, Tina, thanks very much. Vladimir Guerrero, healthy enough to go. He's been sitting out 4 of the final 6 regular season games with a sore tricep. Relegated to DH duty down the stretch, relegated to DH duty tonight. His .324 average was 8th best in the American League, 27 homers, 10th best, and 125 RBI, 3rd most in the American League. How Guerrero and Anderson hit in this series will probably dictate what the Angels can do, especially without Gary Matthews Jr. in the lineup. So it is game 1 here at Fenway Park. The other American League Division Series will not begin until tomorrow. That's when the New York Yankees will open up at Jacobs Field against CC Sabathia and the Cleveland Indians. Sabathia, 19 wins on the regular season, but he hasn't pitched against the Yankees, as you can see, since 2004. Yankees ran the table against Cleveland this season with a 6-0 mark, but they never faced Sabathia. Of course, Fausto Carmona is the Game 2 starter. Rockies had a 3-0 lead in this one. Phillies cut it to 1. Now it's 4-2. Cubs and Diamondbacks, the other division game tonight. As we're rejoined by Jerry and Jim. No surprise that Beckett makes the start tonight. A little bit of a surprise. It'll be Daisuke Matsuzaka in game 2. Were you surprised?
Yes, because when I left the ballpark on Sunday, I was told Sunday morning that it was going to be Schilling in game 2. But I think the performance that Daisuke had in his last outing and giving additional rest to Kurt Schilling, I think helped him switch that decision. And there is some advantage, I think, Jim, for a team that has not seen Daisuke Matsuzaka pitch it. I think it's definitely Daisuke's favor. You know, they have not seen his slider, they haven't seen his changeup, and you can watch as much film as you can watch, but the fact is, until you face him in person, you know, you don't know. So I think, you know, they put it all together. They figured to give Schilling the extra time, and after Daisuke's strong performance and also pitching against a team that he has not seen yet, would be to the Red Sox advantage.
Jim, we talked about the healthy Red Sox lineup. They moved Manny back into the cleanup spot. We didn't think he'd be a number 2 hitter in the postseason. J.D. Drew was red hot down the stretch. We've got a 4-man heart of the order right now that seems to be going pretty good. You confident in this Red Sox lineup?
I am. I mean, we're confident the whole year, and all of a sudden Manny got hurt and missed about 20 games, but still you won a couple of ball games. But with Manny, that's a plus in there. And of course, I think you can flip-flop if you want to. If you got a left-handed, you probably can flip-flop Big Papi to third like Freddie and I did, and Manny to Big fourth and third, flip-flop those 2 guys like we did, and you're still going to have the same results, because a lot of times you still may have a tendency of seeing a left-hander towards Big Papi to see more breaking ball. You may see more fastball. Depends on who's behind him.
Yeah, they go left, right, left. Did you think they might juggle it to try to go left, right?
I was wondering whether they're going to put Drew back in between, you know, Manny and Lowell. But Lowell's been so hot in that spot, you know, up in the order. I feel they're going to keep him there. And, of course, J.D. Drew has also been hot in the month. So, you know, the Red Sox really come in a perfect situation. You know, they're getting the guys back healthy. They were able to, you know, get those guys healthy and still get the best record in baseball. Guys right now swinging the bat well. I mean, you know, even Manny, who came back and had a couple of bats, you could see him feeling his way through the first couple of bats, hitting the other way. Then he started to pull balls, try to hook balls. So, you know, they're in very, very good shape going into this series.
Manny came back last Tuesday. Was it important to him to get those at-bats in, to get that week of games in before the postseason, Jim?
Yes, it was a good thing for him to go out and play left field, too. At least he's starting at home. You have your home field advantage, so that's a plus there, too.
All right, Red Sox and Angels ready to go. They say speed kills. If it does, then the Red Sox could have a tough road to hoe here down during the postseason. We'll take a break and come back. And don't forget, post-game coverage throughout the postseason here on NESN.
The pregame show is brought to you in part by WB Mason and their new What a Bargain Super Clearance Center, where you can save up to 75% on office furniture and equipment. Located at 647 Summer Street in Boston, across from the Boston Athletic Center.
Totaling 88 stolen bases as a team. The Angels had the third most stolen bases all baseball, second only to Baltimore in the American League. And you can see the numbers: Figgins, Willits, and Cabrera. What a threat they pose on the base paths. Make no mistake, the Angels are a fast team, and they will use that weapon if they can in this series.
In our situation, our lineup is not as deep as Boston's. We don't have as much power. We don't hit home runs, at the frequency that a lot of clubs do. But one thing we do is we run the bases extremely well.
They can run. They got guys that can hit the ball, the ballpark. They move runners over. They play very fundamentally sound. When we were out there, I think that's one thing that everybody kept talking about when we went out there, and they kind of beat up on us a little bit.
We've heard a lot of talk about this Angels speed, Jerry. How big of a concern is it in this series?
Well, it's a concern, especially in close ball games. I think the key to the series, obviously, is the Red Sox to jump out front early and take some out of the way from them. Though, even though they do get out, it's not going to change the Angels' game. That's what they play. And always expect the unexpected from the Angels. They're going to steal, they're going to hit and run, they're going to squeeze. They are the best team in baseball going first to third, so they're going to put tremendous pressure, if they can, on both infielders, outfielders, and pitchers, as you see in that clip right there. So that is their game. But the key is, Red Sox pitching cannot worry that much about the steals, because if they do, then half their attention is off the hitter at the plate, and that's what the Angels want them to do. So I think, Tito Francona would rather give up a stolen base to Sean Figgins and get that next out to get out of a jam instead of worrying about that so much. But the key is get out in front and try to take them out of that ball game, because I'll tell you, in close games, they can put a lot of pressure on you and make you look foolish.
Well, I guess you could say the best defense is a good offense in this case, especially against a guy like Lackey, Jim, who's had trouble here. His ERA is brutal at Fenway Park. Maybe there's a little doubt back there. If the Red Sox can score early and get to him, they could put the pressure on Lackey.
Well, we hope it stays that way. And I think you can go back to when Jerry was playing with the Angels. They had guys who could run too. But we weren't worried about that, because normally any situation that you have, you can go from first to third. You don't have to have fast runners to be able to go from first to third. You just got to find out where your defensive guys are. If the guy's moving to the left or right, that's going to give you 3 or more steps anyway. So you got to make things happen. So even though you're playing the Angels playing the Red Sox, you got to make things happen. Do not be afraid to go from first to third.
It's interesting. He talks about going back to when you played there. It really sort of has been almost an organizational philosophy. I've heard Mike Scioscia talk about, Bill Stoneham, that this is the way the game should be played. Hit and run, steal, take the extra base.
But it's the talent that he has, and I think you manage dictated by the players that you have, and that's what he has. He has a very aggressive team, and I think he enjoys that style of play. Jim talks about teams that I played on. If we got 1 run a game, it was great, but these guys score more. I mean, they're up in the league. They're, I think, 4th in the league in runs scored, not far from the Red Sox. So what they do as a team is they can tag together a lot of base hits. Base hits, stolen base, hit and run, do things like that. They're probably not going to win many games on the long ball, because it's not their game. You got Guerrero to worry about, you got Anderson to worry about as far as that goes, and maybe Kochman too, another guy. But the fact is, they are a team that likes to string together base hits. They're very high with the hits in the league, and they're very high in runs scored. They're very high in stolen bases, and they're very low in home runs.
So we talked about the infield, add pressure to the outfield, knowing that they might always be looking for that extra base on a base hit or on a play?
No, you as an outfielder, you know the team that you're playing against, so you anticipate that anyway. You just got to get to the ball a little early. You just got to make sure that you're in position to throw the ball. And anytime a ball it hits to the outfield like a one-hopper on the ground, you got to be in position to throw to that base that you intend to throw to.
And also hit the cutoff man, because the fact is, and it's a major thing in baseball. I mean, but you can stop a runner. Just hit a cutoff man. That keeps a guy from maybe even scoring.
Manny's got that no-look sidearm thing down, Pat, from left field anyway, so we'll see that at some point. Second time in the last 3 years, third time in the last 4 years that the Angels are the AL West champs. Vladdy Guerrero, obviously a big part of the reason why. They don't hit a lot of home runs, but he does. So you got to keep an eye on him, obviously, as the Sox and Angels go at it. Game 1 of the ALDS. Look at the latest from the clubhouse when we come back.